Hey, hello. This is Sunday, the 13th of February, 2022. I'm over here in my office and I've decided to come here because I'm working on a research paper that is very important to me. I'm supposed to finish this research paper as soon as December 2022. So if I want to get it done by that period, I have to start working on it now. That's what I'm doing now. But I want to tell you a story about a lady that I met long time ago. And I'm telling you, when I first met this lady, I thought I met the devil. It's so funny. I went to the place. It was a rock school. I got scholarship. I went to the Rock International School. I met Bishop Cox. And when they introduced Bishop Cox to me, I was like, Jesus, I have met the devil. But long story short, Bishop Dr. Rosetta Cox, I later on realized that she's a wonderful person. I never knew what I was getting into until I got into rock school. I was very rude. I was on football scholarship. And there were so many of us that went through that school. Some were teaching and some were doing a lot of things. Dr. Masoka Papafala, Dr. Fala was there those days. He was working with Bishop Cox. And I'm telling you, everybody that came across Bishop Cox has problem with her. Dr. Kimmy Weeks, Dr. Kimmy Weeks was in that school. And you name them, some became doctors, some became ambassadors, ministers, and all of that. But Bishop Cox wanted us to learn. I was so rude, and I did not want to listen to anything. So one day she brought me on the flagpoles. She said, listen to me, all you young people out there. I'm going to use him as an example. Paul, come here. She said, don't you guys ever make a mistake and think that I left the United States to come over here to mess with you boogers. I said, Jesus, this woman just called us boogers. And then she said, if you want to be in the rock school system, you have to learn. She went and created additional subjects and added it to the Liberian school curriculum. I was like, what? She brought in a subject, integrity. She brought another one called behavior, all kinds of stuff. But long story short, one of the things I learned from Bishop Cox, and I really love, she always used to tell us, eyes that look are common, but eyes that sees are real. I never knew what she was talking about. But here I am today, 25 years later. I was in Italy. I met an Italian woman and a young guy in a restaurant. I was in a 5-star hotel. And I heard this woman shouting at this guy, and they were screaming at one another, making noise. My mind reflected. You know how you get that quick reflection? My mind reflected back to Bishop Dr. Cox. I said, that's Paul and his mom right there. But long story short, when I started adding things together to realize, thinking now as a man, what did this woman mean, eyes that look are common, but eyes that see that real? That was when I had to realize that emancipating yourself from mental slaveries, from lies and illusion, depends on your mind's ability to process positivity. So I started looking for that positivity to process. I started thinking, how can I be positive? That's why since that time up to now, every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, today is going to be better than yesterday. No matter how much stress, no matter who's going to meet me out there, my today must be better than yesterday. So those are the things I keep in myself. That is another reason why only ourselves can free our minds, no matter what. But then the greatest people who are successful are people who sees with the invisible eyes. When you see with the invisible eyes, you will be able to achieve the impossible. Now, what is the invisible eye? What is this invisible eye? How do you find the invisible eye? How do I know what the invisible eye is? Then I started learning. You know, normally I don't like to do long videos. I started learning. I realized that the invisible eye teaches a person to know that even though I don't have today, but I will provide food for the poor in my mind. So it's a mindset. Even though I'm very poor, but I will distribute money in times to come. You don't see those kind of things with the common eye. You see them with your invisible eyes. So start to use your invisible eyes. The invisible eyes is the one that bring the vision out. I love the philosophy of the minds that say keep the mind happy. No matter what position, no matter what condition you are, keep the mind happy. Make sure you think differently so that things can happen differently. Don't be doing the same thing over and over and expect to get different results. That's my video of the day, man. Let me do my research work.